So we're here in the Versus Evil booth talking to
Seth McNitt, associate producer at Skyshine Games.
And Skyshine's got a game called Bedlam, and it's a post-apocalyptic, kick-ass, I want to say cyberpunk only because of the cool masks that some of these people wear, but...
Yeah, it's a post-apocalyptic tactical battle roguelike.
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk. So this is your Dozer, and your Dozer is basically like this traveling city arc type thing. You have over 1,000 passengers on here, so a little person would just be a tiny speck down here. You are basically traveling from the last human metropolis of Byzantine, trying to make it to the fabled Aztec city, which is the supposed, utopia somewhere out there. But unfortunately, you have to travel across Bedlam, which is a crazy, crazy wasteland of these warring factions.
So this is like effectively the southwestern, I wouldn't say United States, but southwestern North America, just north of what Mexico is now. If you're traveling to like an Aztec city, I'm just trying to keep my geography down.
So here's the funny thing. So John is our art director, and he's got the amazing art style that he went with. It's all based on kind of like the old 80s comics and stuff like Mobius and Jeff Darrow. And so he and our writer, when they were like 12 years old, literally, they created this world in Dungeons and Dragons. So like they were playing Dungeons and Dragons every weekend with their friends, and then they realized, oh, we can make up like a lot of kids, they can make up our own world and just use the rules. And so for like 10 years, until they were in their 20s, because they kind of kept with it for a long time, they called the game Dungeons and Dragons Road Warrior Outer Space type game. And that's just what they called it forever and ever and ever. So the fact that they said outer space, I don't even know if it's exactly supposed to be Earth or not, but yeah, you're right. I always think of that same thing, like, oh, it's, Aztec City, it seems like it's down there. So yeah, this is your Dozer, and then this is the one, if you just were to boot up the game from start, this is the only Dozer that would be available right away. But then there are quests where you can unlock other Dozers, and so we're going to show those right now. We've got the Mutant Dozer.
That's kind of creepy.
The Marauder Dozer, the Cyborg, and the AI.
They didn't tell me the Zerg were in this game.
That's kind of a Mad Max vibe going on there.
Oh, yeah.
Those Dozers.
That's your Road Warrior,
kids, yeah, Road Warrior, Mad Max, and like Judge Dredd, and a lot of this stuff was huge on there, yeah.
So when you say you have quests that you can unlock these Zergish type things, are we talking like you start with the one Dozer, you're going along, and then you're like, something happens, you have like an actual game event where you migrate your entire city to another Dozer?
No, but then if you unlock them, it would be available the next time you start up the game as a usable Dozer.
So you have to like start from the beginning as a different storyline, replayability function.
Yep. I mean, and so the overarching story is relatively simple. It's going to have like a cool little intro and there's characters and stuff, but the overarching story is that you are starting from Byzantine and you are getting down to Aztec City. But then every time you re-roll the board, so I'll show you here. We'll just go on easy for this demo here. So every time you re-roll the board, any one of these territories can be controlled by any of the 4 factions, and every time it's going to be random who controls what and what they're named and stuff like that. So in this particular build, it's just mutants and marauders, but at any given time, like when the full game, that could be AI, that could be cyborgs, whatever. So at any given time when you start off, you can use these different Dozers, and they actually do have different efficiencies. Like one might get you a little better gas mileage, one gets you a little better meat consumption, and kind of how you want to play with that and weigh that. So here we go, we're off to the races. This is your threat meter. Every day you spend in Bedlam, this is going to rise. And King Viscera, who's like the main real jerk of Bedlam, the more pissed he gets at you, the more aware he is of your goings-ons. He's going to send guys at you, and the bigger your battles are going to get. Also, there's these elites, you'll see in a second, and they will spawn more around the map, and you have to kind of take care of them. So we actually set this up to just have an automatic battle right away, so we're going to fight some marauders. It's going to be a pretty easy battle. These are your elites. You don't usually actually just start with them, but we have them in here for demo purposes. But these are guys you can fight out in the wasteland, and they're badass.
It's one of those guys you bump into, you beat the tar out of him, and then you're like, you know what, I'm not going to kill you, you should join us, kind of thing?
Yes, exactly.
Or you can kill him and you won't get them.
More likely he's going to kill you, but if you get him, yeah. So we kind of try to mess with the player a lot. It's a roguelike. So we're trying to incentivize you to take less guys into battle, because you pick up resources on the battlefield. And if you take in one less person, you get double the meat. You take another less person, you get double the crude, and so on and so forth. For now, I'm just going to go with this because I'm going to show you these classes real quick. So this is a really easy battle. We've just got 2 marauders to deal with. So this is your frontliner. This is the guy that's selected right away. He's got a wide range of movement. He's got a lot of health. He doesn't do too much damage, and he's got a very small, just melee range of attack. Obviously, he's basically your tank. This guy right here, exact opposite, polar opposite. He's got a very small range of movement. He's got this very specific long-range attack. He will do high damage, but he can't take much of a kicking.
So if you're bumping into one of these guys, he can't run far enough away to attack.
Okay, you just awesomely exactly what I was about to talk about, because you have these 4 different classes and they're all different. You can see like different range. This guy's kind of mid-range attack, mid-range movement, but they all have kind of a rock, paper, scissor quality to them. So this guy can almost always kill this guy, like you're saying, because he can just get right inside his range, like you were saying, and this guy is just he can't do anything. He can't get away far enough. But then, if I try to take my frontliner and go after a shotgunner will knock back. So I shoot you with a shotgun and you actually fly back, even if you're not quite dead yet. So even though he can take a licking, so I go up and I only do 2 damage, right? He knocks me back for 4 damage. I have to move once to get up there and attack once, and he knocks me back. I'm gonna die before I can take that guy out, because you only get 2 actions per turn.
Oh wow.
There's no turn order. There's no burn down, no cool down. You don't have to worry about which way you're facing. It is very fast paced.
2 actions like per character or per
whole turn. And if I want, I can just move this guy the entire battle, over and over and over and over, but I'm only going to get 2 actions per turn. And they get 2 actions, I get 2 actions. And you're incentivized, not only does it stay really fast-paced in general, but you're incentivized to finish it fast, because if this fills up your blitzometer, then they will have a turn where they have 4 actions, and they can really do a lot of damage with that.
Uh-huh.
So let's say I'm going to go, well, actually, this guy, see, this is another one of these rock, paper, scissors things. So this guy's really good against here. If I attack these guys, let's say...
these guys.
Yes, exactly,
Yeah.
yep. The equivalent, yep. So if I attack that guy, if I hit him with my knockback, he will be in the perfect, he won't quite die, and he'll be in the perfect area to take 2 shots at me and kill me in 1 turn. So that's that rock, paper, scissors. You always have somebody you're kind of strong against and somebody you're sort of weak against. So I am going to actually bring this guy up. Go back and see what happens.
Wow. And it's turn-based, so it's 1 turn, 1 turn, and I think you said 2 actions, so here you can... I like the brutal function.
Somewhat logical, but I haven't played the whole game yet, but I have a feeling some might be similar to
So like this here, if you move back,
where
I don't know, I mean, you can move this guy, you could probably move him into a position where he could...
just like some really strange.
Yeah, he's got, because this is the edge of the map right here, so I'm trying
Majority of them should be.
you always try to gauge, okay, where's that guy going to move?
Well, I'm looking at your...
I'm going to go here.
It's not like that.
Let's see what happens.
This is
Oh,
your
now
game,
we'll see.
This is the stories.
Oh, perfect. Dead.
It's like.
I think the game is rigged. Then it is on very easy.
That was a nice animation.
Headshot.
Rigid.
And this isn't even as beautiful scene.
And because you didn't pick anything up, you don't get...
Exactly.
All right. And so this is, what is it? You said this is...
These are power cells.
Okay.
This is like, your crude, and this is meat, and I will show you in 1 second here.
So you don't just get that stuff by default by winning the match.
You have to pick it up.
while you're there.
Exactly.
So that's kind of an
That's what
incentive
it
to not
Yeah.
finish the map quickly, but
So-
at the same time, you have to finish the map so you don't
Exactly.
get your ass kicked.
So you have the incentive to take less guys so you get more stuff, but then you have the incentive to pick up stuff, but if you pick up stuff, you're not attacking, and then you're going to lose a guy, so there's always like a trade-off, So now we'll just travel a little farther in here real quick. Here we go, we're in a marauder territory, filling up our threat meter little by little. And you can see these burn down, so every step you go, you're losing your crude, you're burning it, and then your crew is eating your meat, or your passengers are. Now, if this were to actually get to 0, which especially on higher difficulties, it often does, you will start losing these guys. They'll just start dying. And if you ever get to 0 on your passengers, that's a fail state. If you get to 0 on your crude, that is almost a fail state. Basically, it gives you, we used to call it SOS, now we call it SOL, but you basically do like a Russian roulette, and if it comes up as a quote-unquote good option, you will at least have the option possibly of like fighting for some fuel or trying to survive. If you get a bad option, game over.
And how do the energy cells play into it, since you have a distinctively lower amount of that?
Yep, I will show you that in 1 second. Oh, cool. Okay, so we just actually got a crew member. There's a lot of like different conversation events like this. So we got, is it a clash? Okay, so now we're just far enough into the wasteland where it opens up more. We got more travel options. So I can go over here and cross into this other territory. I can travel here. You can see if I travel here, it takes 4 days and this much resource burn. If I go to one of these little guys, this means these are like points of interest. It means that your Dozer's not really going anywhere. You're staying put and you're just sending out an away vehicle. especially on higher difficulties when you're going to have a lot more trouble with resources, and you're going to need to stop at a lot of these, hoping you can get some fuel, get some meat. You're going to run into battles where you can collect those. You're going to run into events just like that where you can recruit new crew members. And there's also little things like artifacts or cargo that you can find. And then if you have that in your inventory and you run into a conversation event that normally would just end up of a screw you, let's fight, all of a sudden it's like, oh, you got that one thing, let's talk. You know, like it's a different situation.
Ooh. So in these cases, it's like you're taking one step back to take 2 steps forward, because you have to burn resources to get to them. But then if you go out here and you don't pick up extra resources, so it's almost incentive for one of these things to not take as many people.
Exactly. Yep.
So you have that extra. So when you do pick up that stuff, you can. That's kind of cool. I do like the that you said it's on the Banner Saga engine, which I was very big impressed with. So this is pretty awesome.
Okay, so now power cells. These are your Dozer rooms. If I upgrade this, I'll go ahead and do this one here. That means I'm going to get a little better fuel mileage, basically. This one will give you better meat consumption. This one, when guys get hurt, so if it's permadeath. So if a guy dies in the battlefield, he's gone for good. He's never coming back.
But like those 2 guys took a couple of damage.
So now when we go back to the crew screen, they're hurt. They're not dead, but they're going to heal. So if I upgrade that medical bay, essentially, they're going to maybe heal a little faster.
That was the coolest and grossest thing I've ever seen.
He's like simultaneously really cute and just horribly gory and awesome. I love it. He's my favorite character. I love that guy.
So does he have is that his only attack, or does like if you attack him now, would he hit the guys instead?
No, that's his only attack. He's the puke monster. That's his name. He's Chundarak the puke monster. Now I'm going to show you another cool thing real quick. Oh crap, we can't because we're inside the Dozer. We can't use the big weapon.
Oh, that's if you're the weapon from the Dozer itself. Because I saw it had like a missile up here, and that's.
Yep.
Is there like a heightened awareness state, like a retaliation state, where if you can put them into that mode, and if they get attacked, they retaliate?
Well, not exactly, although the gunslingers, that's actually their special ability. So if I'm a frontliner and I hit you right next to you as a gunslinger, they actually fire off a quick shot and you do 1 damage back on the guy.
Okay, cool.
And then the snipers, although you didn't get to see it, every now and then they'll do a headshot and that'll do 10 damage. They'll drop almost any character in the game in 1 shot, but you don't have any control over it.
That's just like a critical hit.
Yep. And then the shotgunners obviously have that knockback like you saw.
When should we expect this in my Steam or
yeah.
GOG?
The next couple of weeks we'll be sending you out obviously press releases, preview, setting that up in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, we haven't announced an exact release date yet, but we're pretty much committing. It's coming out in September. It's actually really close. We're only showing those Marauders and Mutants right now, but the AI are basically finished. We're going to be showing them off at PAX, and then we're working on the last faction right now, the Cyborg. So we're coming out in September on Steam, and then we're going to be coming to Mac really soon after that because we promised that in our Kickstarter. So we're just going to, as soon as we're done, we're going to work on that, and then probably to tablets right after that.
Is there going to be a Linux release to this at all?
Maybe is the most we can commit to. We
Gotcha.
love Linux too, but as far as sales,
Got it.
Yeah.
If we had more money in the Kickstarter, you guys should have been paying attention. So cool. No, that's very cool. So you're going to be showing this again at PAX, PAX Prime in Seattle?
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. Well, we're going to see you there. We'll
cool.
look forward to seeing more of that stuff.
So.
Thanks a lot,
cool.
man.
Thanks, guys.
Guys, be sure to check out the Corsair coverage. They are unveiling a new Cherry MX Switch. It's silent. So be sure to check that out. Also, they've got some new RGB action going on here with the brand new version of the Strafe. They've got a new MMO gaming mouse called the Scimitar, and they also have some new RGB headsets. So check out the footage by clicking on the screen or see the link in the description, or else.